upset.
I mean, that sums it up, man. Cowboys losing to the Packers. I'm upset, man.
Hey, Jerry. It's almost like this is the thing. It's almost like Groundhog Day. It's the same things that we go over and over again. So we abandoned the run, even though I think Pollard was giving 5.6, 5.5 yards, whatever it is. Malik Davis is getting, I think, 7.6 yards a carry, and we abandoned the run. What did I say earlier on the show? And the shows all week. We need to show them that we're running the ball. Let's run the ball. No, they're running the ball. We're running the ball. And who's a better man? And what do? I think Dak had what, 46 pass attempts?
Correct.
Why?
So just so we can clean up the stats so people can understand, right? 46 passing attempts by Dak. He completed 27. He threw 2 interceptions in the game. He had 3 touchdowns. Tony Pollard rushed the ball 22 times, had 115 yards rushing, averaged 5.2 yards a carry, and scored a touchdown. Malik Davis had 5 carries, rushed for 38 yards, averaged 7.6 yards a carry. You could look at the one thing that's very alarming right now is the Packers took advantage of an opportunity. They took advantage because I don't know. Have we been praising Dan Quinn too much? Have we been, so sky high on Dan Quinn that we forget that we cannot stop the run for the life of us? I mean, look at it. Aaron Jones had 24 carries for 138 yards. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry, scored a touchdown. A.J. Dillon, 13 carries for 65 yards, averaged 5 yards a carry. Even Aaron Rodgers was able to get 2 rushing attempts. I'm just saying, I think that right now, I don't care if you're calling me overreacting, but I think that as Cowboy fans, we need to stand up and we need to tell people that we need to relook at the entire coaching staff, offensive coordinator, head coach, and defensive coordinator. I don't care what Dan Quinn's done for me 2 games ago or a game ago. I'm talking about right now. You should have already known they have 2 capable running backs. Why couldn't you stop them? Why didn't you stop them?
And I think for me, Jerry, I think they had the idea of that. I think they knew that right from the get-go. They understood that they could not stop the run because we couldn't before. And I think that's why they went after Jonathan Hankins. I think that's why they got him. I think that's why they released Tristan Hill because he's not a big body to stop the run. And ultimately, they got the big fellas up front to do it. But I think the scheme wise, it might not be the right fit, or not the right fit, but just not the right scheme to be able to stop the run and go after the quarterback. Now, we did see Micah Parsons play linebacker a lot more than we've recently seen just because either injuries or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, that's not his spot. I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But I think when he's on the line, he's a lot better. And I think we got exposed today by LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. And they didn't have a great game as well, but they just ran the ball better and they were able to take the opportunities and win the game. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
They had 36 rushing attempts and they passed 20. They had 20 passing attempts. So you're talking about a balance. They're very balanced. In fact, that's probably one of the balances that the Cowboys need to stick to. I mean, they need to stick to that script. But answer me that question. Do you think that Dan Quinn, we given him too much credit at this point, at where we're at right now?
I think maybe we have.
Whoa! I'm sorry. We got people chiming in already. Look at that.
Fire
Kellen Moore. I'm with you right there. But nobody else knows. I mean, there's no other playbook that they know.
Yeah.
Look, here's Walter. Jerry. What the hell happened? Well, that's what we're talking about right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ramiro, Dallas let the Packers hang around and lose, and the loss was the result. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud. You see the block Aaron Rodgers got? Yeah, we saw it. Yeah. Let them hang around way too long. Shouldn't even went into overtime. Micah was a little quiet tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, we agree. Yeah, I agree.
that
And CD may have had a good game, but he was the reason Dak threw one of his two interceptions. Yes, you're talking about when he didn't sell the route at the top of the key at the top of the route. Yeah, he didn't sell it out. So yeah, I mean, hey, thank you for all chiming in and thank you for listening to us.
a lot coming in, Jerry.
It was a lot. Hey, but we were talking about this. There was a comment on here that they said, where was it? It was the one of these comments kind of we were talking about something. Oh, for instance, why not take that field goal? I think that's where I
Yeah.
think that this is this is why Cowboys Nation is so harsh on Mike McCarthy, regardless of how great of a job that you did to get us to this point, right? With Cooper Rush and whatnot and all the adjustments. That's why, because you make these boneheaded mistakes, man. And you're a you're a Super Bowl champion coach. You won a Super Bowl. And you decided to go for it on fourth down, knowing that the offense is struggling to get going, knowing that the offense is struggling to get first downs. We're in field goal percentage. We're right there in field goal. I literally it would have been a, what, maybe a 40 yarder at that position, a 40-yard kick goal. I mean, Brett Maher. I mean, is it Brett Maher or who is it that we have kicking? You know what I mean? That you didn't feel safe kicking the ball. You know what I mean? So when you make those boneheaded mistakes like they did, I'm just saying that's why people start questioning Mike McCarthy. Is he the right head coach for the Dallas Cowboys? So that right there, that sums it up, right? Then he threw his head, says, "Yeah, he literally got his head." I mean, I feel like doing that right now, but no, my equipment costs money, and that would delay us going live on YouTube and whatnot. But getting back on point, man, the most the most alarming thing of this entire thing is that we need this momentum. We needed this win to kick the momentum to go off and face off against the Vikings. The Vikings got a crucial win against the Buffalo Bills. You know, some people even said, "Hey, watch, it might be the Vikings and the Bills in the Super Bowl." Which, if that was the case, we would have had the Vikings winning the Super Bowl this year. So it's crazy. Oh, okay. I guess Mike Velasquez. I guess that's who's on with us. But getting back on subject, what do we do now? I mean, what do we do now? It's hard, right? Because we got to break down the entire thing. But the real quick, this is some of the notes that I acquired. The alarming thing is the discipline that we have as a unit, as a team. This is where it gets a little discouraging. We literally had 4 flags thrown in overtime alone. Like, number one, what the hell was Jalen Tolbert doing lining up at corner? Like, literally, he was lining up at corner. I mean, you wonder why Jalen Tolbert's not playing, because he's making these boneheaded plays. I mean, number one, you got to check with the ref to see if you're lined up. The ref is going to tell you. You don't check with the ref won't tell you, hey, move back. You know what I mean? Jalen Tolbert messing up. It's not good. It's not good. Doesn't look good. I'm pretty sure he's probably not gonna play for a couple of weeks. So that's the one thing. Dante Fowler, you've been in the league for way too long, man. You can't be putting you can't be you already know about this face mask stuff. I know you're pissed. I'm pissed too. Let me see. The other one was the holding call on Connor McGovern, right? That's why I say, if Tyron comes back, let's put Tyler on there. See what we got, because I'm tired of McGovern making these boneheaded plays. And of course, the other one was the offsetting penalties on the kickoff return. So we got lucky on that one, but still, 4 penalties in overtime alone, like, that's ridiculous. So at this point, the way we're playing, how far can we expect to get into the playoffs?
I mean, unfortunately, Jerry, we'll probably still make the playoffs with the way the NFC is playing right now. We'll still make the playoffs, right? But Mike, I don't know about Mike McCarthy, and I said it. I gave him a lot of criticism before, and I kept harping on him, and I gave him a little bit back because it was his birthday. I get it, but man,
What
it
what what
seems
was
like in
what was
critical
what was, what was the name of what was the name you said right now?
Mike McCarthy.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
For real, man.
Yeah,
I said that's exactly what I was gonna be asking, man.
I agree, and those things are like, man, what are we doing? You're a head coach, you're a Super Bowl coach. You've made mistakes already the first season. Now you're making more mistakes. But how much are we going to put up with this? You're supposed to be experienced. And I think the biggest thing, I can't stop the run, can't win games from Ramiro, right? The comment. And
Ramiro,
this is what
I want him to answer my question after you're done, though.
Yeah,
Ramiro.
and so this is the thing. Like I said before, they identified that, and I think Dan Quinn is doing that. He identifies, hey, we can't stop the run. Let's get Hankins, let's get him in. So hopefully we can stop the run, and we still haven't stopped the run. But is that because we put Micah Parsons on linebacker and not a defensive end? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. But I think he needs to play defensive end in order for us to win. That's just the honest truth. And if we can't do that, we're gonna be in trouble. And especially the back end, the way they're playing, and we give people like Aaron Rodgers enough time to throw the ball, we're gonna be in trouble.
Ram, my question is: have we given Dan Quinn? Have we anointed Dan Quinn too early? As we need to keep him, we need to make him a priority in the offseason. He needs to stay. Have we done that? Because I'm telling you right now, with a player like Michael Parsons, a player like Sam Williams, Damone Clark, I think that any defensive coordinator can get these guys together. Because I'll tell you this, they needed to deploy a little bit more blitz packages in this defense, and all I saw was four. I mean, I did. It was very rare that I saw any blitz being called. I saw four. I just saw four down linemen rushing. Like you said, I saw Micah playing freelancing at linebacker, which I understand. He's an incredible player, but have we anointed Dan Quinn too early? That is my question. Do you think that there's somebody out there that could put up these kind of, these kind of sacks? I think the Cowboys are leading the NFL in sacks with 38 total sacks on the season. But look at the Packers. Look at the Packers. They got the Tennessee Titans, the Cowboys still have to play the Tennessee Titans. I bet you Tennessee Titans gonna come and whoop some Packers ass next week. You know what I mean? Packers are not gonna play like the Tennessee Titans like the way they play the Cowboys.
Nope.
It's ridiculous, man. It's really
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. We're just gonna have to see when the game goes on because guess what? Guess who we come next week? Who do we have?
Vikings.
And we have Dalvin Cook, who can run the ball. So if they come in and they start establishing that run on us and they keep continuing to run the ball on us, it's not going to be good. Look, listen, as much as everybody says Dak is the man and I get it. I love Dak. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, it comes down to can he win the big games, just like Kirk Cousins, right? I know he won a big one this past week, right? It's been one in a while. But if we don't establish this run, we're going to be in trouble. And if Dak has to throw the ball 45 or more during a game, we're not going to win.
Yeah, he is a great D coordinator, but we saw last year, and this Dallas can't stop the run. So I guess
Yep.
we are anointing him to keeping him. Jerry, in pregame you mentioned Joseph, and we saw him get beat. Yep. And I think on that one, I call Ari right away. I said, why didn't he freaking press? I mean, look at that. That was it just shows you that the Packers still are their Packers are still all screwed up on offense. There's still no sync. In fact, we even saw Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur get into it on the sideline. Like, I mean, literally, they're talking shit to each other right there, in each other's faces, right? So, you know, it is what it is, but that looked like a great opportunity to give the ball to either Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon and let them punch it in. And look, what did they do? A passing play. In that situation, a corner should know I'm gonna press this guy. I'm gonna break his timing up, but no, let the Cowboys let Christian Watson, who looked like a freaking bust, look like a freaking stud. And you know what? That's exactly why I wanted Kelvin Joseph to play, because I need to know. I need to know right now, is he going to be our number 2? You know what I mean? I think Harvey Gray makes a great point. What did you say Kelvin Joseph should be playing?
I think he should, be playing either third or fourth, or, depending on what situation you're on, and playing the slot, but he's not an outside guy. Or that's just my opinion on it. I think Bland is more preferred in the slot or the outside, but I don't think Kelvin Joseph is the answer.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, that's why I want him to play, because we need to know for the future, like, for the most part, we have the foundational pieces on the actual trench, right? With Osa Ozigidiwa, Sam Williams, Micah, Damone, and we still got D Law. Mike McCarthy is terrible at game management. We had an opportunity to get the ball at the end of the fourth quarter, and he didn't. He did attempt to call timeout. I don't understand how Micah Parsons wasn't rushing the quarterback. Man, excellent point.
Hey,
Uh, look, in there agreeing with Mike.
yeah. No, I totally agree with you, and that's what I said before, and I gave kind of Mike McCarthy his due diligence when it was his birthday, just because it was his birthday. But I keep saying this, for a coach that was out a year, and apparently he had I don't know if it was on ESPN or some kind of
It was,
bio.
it was on ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, that he understood his No, you didn't understand your mistakes because you keep making them. You keep making the mistakes. Now, did you win a Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers was on your team? Is that the question? Because to me, I get it. He still made mistakes in this game, and he continues to make the critical mistakes when it comes down to the game. And to me, I think the Cowboys should have won this game. If Stephen A. Smith is saying the Cowboys are going to kick ass, we should beat this team.
Yeah.
Came out, we played mediocre, we played it safe, and what happens when we do that? We lose games. That's what happened.
We were up 28-14. But I mean, they were down. They were down. They were getting beat, and we let them back in. Is this overreaction to a game on paper? Dallas should have won, or should we just relax? Look, at this point, I'm done, man. I've been waiting a long time for us to get back into the Super Bowl. Uh, we literally saw Tony Romo. We saw Tony Romo's career just go to waste. We lost that opportunity. You know, Dak is already 29 years old. The window seemed to be closing, but with the influx in the youth in the defense and the lottery jackpot that we hit with Taylor Smith, it kind of reopened that window for that Super Bowl window for for the Dallas Cowboys. So it's yeah, it's a bit of overreaction, but I mean at this point we're frustrated, man, and we're wasting talent, man. We're wasting some serious talent with some stupid coaching. I'm sorry, that's what it comes down to. They said, oh, that he meant say that didn't call timeout. No, but we understood what you were saying.
Yeah.
On the south side, this not a Super Bowl game. Anything can happen when you're in the tournament for the Super Bowl. Absolutely right. If we make it into the playoffs and we get hot during the playoffs, I think that's the best thing right now. But at the way this rate is, we cannot be making these mistakes at this time at this point in the actual season. This is when we should be getting red hot. Not only that, getting the right amount of wins to get the seeding right, because obviously there's gonna be a big difference. Like, do we want to face against let's say, do we want to be facing against Philadelphia at Philly? You know what I mean? That I'm just saying that's outdoors, that's cold. So we need to position ourselves to get the wins that we need, so we can have home field advantage in certain locations and in a certain game situation. I would say, if anything. So yeah, I mean, and at this point, I think that Harvey and I are going to start a petition for the Sean Payton coach for next head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So if you guys are interested in signing that, let us know in the comment section. Give us a like. Of course, hit subscribe too. Don't forget we still got that giveaway too. Harvey, anything else before we get off of our overreaction? And we're gonna overreact on Monday too. So let's see.
I think
Hold on,
that
hold on.
okay.
We got Ram chiming in. Let's look at some hidden yardage. I'm a football official. Fourth down, Green Bay punts, and they call blindside on Joseph. That lost Cowboys 34 yards. True, true, true. Let me ask you a question. Was that should that have been a defensive pass interference on Jair Alexander when he was literally tackling CD Lamb? Was that a defensive pass interference? So if you can let us know about that one, because some people are saying, I mean, to me, it looked like Jair kind of attacked him kind of early on that one. But what were you gonna say?
No, yeah, no, I think, as far as the playoff picture is concerned, um, from us being, to fifth to sixth on the playoff picture, that, ultimately that puts us with the it looks like what I'm looking at as the Vikings. So eventually we might have to play them depending on the playoff picture. Right now the Eagles would play the Niners, and then the Vikings would play us. So that's kind of a telltale sign. If we were in the fifth slot, we'd be playing, maybe somebody else. But it just at the end of the day it depends, man. Like, but we cannot have, like you said, these critical mistakes at the coaching staff as that level is concerned, because it's going to cost us games. And here now we're okay, we can continue, right? But when it comes to the playoffs, if we make those mistakes, there's no coming back on it. You're going home. There is no other game.
So Ramiro said yes on that Jair Alexander when he was all over CD. Yes, but it's a bang bang play. Speed is so fast. It was so fast, but it's funny because with the Cowboys they never miss those plays, right? Eagles would have a bye. Yeah, I guess you're right. So I guess he's saying like at this point right now, Eagles get the first seed. They get a first round bye because of their record. As long as Jerry Jones remains general manager, my beloved Dallas Cowboys will unfortunately continue to struggle.
Oh man.
Hey.
Oh man. Hey Jerry, that's a whole different animal.
That is, man. I'm not
Let
ready.
me hey,
That's like
listen,
barking up as that would be barking up a tall ass tree right there, man.
it will, and I will go into this a little bit. This is my thing, right? And I've said this for so many years. Is Jerry Jones so in tune with these players that they get away with so much? And as a coach, because you got to think, I'm not for sure how this worked out, but did Jerry Jones say that Ezekiel Elliott was going to play before even Mike McCarthy said he was going to play?
It did.
And this has happened with Jason Garrett as well. He said some things that, oh, this is going to happen before even Jason Garrett could say it. So what does that tell you about the front office with the coaching staff? Is that Jerry runs the show. And this is my point with that. If you don't have a difference between those two, who's really in charge? Because if Jerry says certain things, then players can get away with certain things at certain moments. And if you're not a head coach that's very strict about certain things, like maybe a Sean Payton, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That's very aggressive, like Bill Parcells, because he comes from the Bill Parcells tree. No, this is what's going to happen, and this is how it goes. Maybe that's some part of the issue with Jerry and the coaching staff, Jerry.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that's why Kellen Moore stuck around for a little bit longer than what we, expected. Because I think that Kellen Moore is kind of his new Jason Garrett, so to say. The guy that allows him to go and make the announcements and be all, all in the all in. And I already know what clip I'm gonna save next time for that, right? But we'll get that clip later. But I think that Jerry Jones is hindering this team to a bit. So Ramiro said the blindside hit should not have been called. one official looking at that one player. You one official looking at one player. Okay, okay, okay. That makes sense. Do we now see a push for OBJ? I think yes. I mean, we had a scare right away with Michael Gallup early. I mean, that was like contact, but I mean, we still need to see if anything's going to happen, right? Because all these players get checked out, right now and then tomorrow. But we'll see on that one. The Raiders were in the same position with Al Davis. Hey man,
I
the Raiders look like shit, man. They lost to the Colts, who literally, the owner Jim Irsay, who's basically like Jerry Jones. It's just Jerry Jones has been, I guess, an owner for a little bit longer, but for the Raiders to lose to a drinking buddy that's never been a freaking head coach, that says something in its own.
we have the comments coming in, don't we, Jerry?
We do. Kellen Moore stinks. He stunk here. Thank you.
Hey,
Well,
yes.
thank you.
Well, I'll take that one, Jerry. Hey, Walt, we've been saying that not for a long time, but just critical moments, and it's coming into formation now. Um, why are and I think Kellen Moore said it before. He's a pass happy person. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go to the trend of the NFL. We want to pass. We want to be dynamic, and that's cool. That's awesome. That gives you cool points. But does it give you playoff and Super Bowl wins? And I talked to this about Jerry before. Nobody liked the Spurs, right? The San Antonio Spurs because they're like, oh, they're boring in the NBA. Why do we like the Spurs? There's no excitement. They play fundamental basketball. Well, in the NFL, if you don't play fundamental football, these are the basically the things that we get is losses to teams that are 3-6 that we should not lose to. But if we play fundamental football, we should win the game, and that's the issue with Kellen Moore.
Um, you said, I mean, you literally took everything out of my. With Kellen Moore, I'm sorry. I don't see no innovation. I see a very vanilla type offense, very vanilla rushing attack, very very vanilla passing attack. I believe we've been doing some research. We're trying to look back at what Amari Cooper said on his way out in his entrance to Cleveland, because he made a comment about the offense that the Cowboys run, and of course there's one about Des Bryant making a comment about the actual offense also. So whenever you got wide receivers talking about the actual plays that are being called, that just goes to show you that something needs to change, and it needs to change fast. It's unfortunate though, because I don't think there's no other option right now, because right now the team that we have for the Cowboys, they only know one offensive scheme, and it's the one that we've been rolling what since 2017, I would say. No, longer, right? Because I mean, we got to go to Scott Linehan and Jason Garrett. I mean, that's where Kellen Moore incorporated this offense. So was it 2017 that he took over? No, 2017 Kellen Moore, I believe, was our quarterback, and that's when Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan. So yeah, I mean, obviously Kellen Moore is not the answer. That's why I think this week coming up ahead, I can just tell you right now, be prepared to see Sean Payton post all over for a while until the Cowboys can get a big win. If they get a big win against the Vikings, oh my gosh, Dan Quinn is a genius, and Mike McCarthy did a great job, getting the team loaded, and we're running a balanced offense, and then come playoff time, we lose in the first round. So that's kind of what happens, right? Linehan stunk too. He stunk it here. Yeah, he did. He really set back the Lions. He set back the Lions, man. So it's been unfortunate with Detroit, man, because Detroit is in the same similar situation as the Dallas Cowboys. The only thing is that the thing that separates the Dallas Cowboys is that we have Will McClay, who does a phenomenal job with his team building as far as acquiring talent. And I'm not trying to talk down on Brad Holmes, because Brad Holmes looks sensational with his team building, but the previous people that had the Lions, they didn't have that idea. You know, they were chasing some identity that didn't even belong to them. Matt Patricia was trying to create, a Patriots 2.0, or let's just say a 4.0, right? Because we've already seen other coordinators, right? Josh McDaniels and with the Broncos, and I forget who else after him, and then of course Matt Patricia with the Detroit Lions. But I'm just saying, like, you guys were not able to acquire talent like the way the Cowboys are. So right now the talent is able to, what's the word, Harvey? I guess the talent is able
Overcome your flaws.
overcome the coaching flaws, right? So I think that,
Most of them.
yeah, for the majority, right? Because I mean, there's only so much that you could do. Should we bring a quarterback controversy in Dallas that bring back no, 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 no.
No, but
Cooper's
Jerry, they
he's very
bring up a good point though.
he's
They
very
ran the ball more.
well. You're absolutely right. Okay, now
I'm
now
not trying to say a
hold on.
controversy,
Let me put that one.
but
Let me put that
I'm
on.
just saying they ran the ball more with Cooper because they understood who they had and they would win.
Yeah,
Now
you're right.
I get it. They played Philadelphia and they almost came back on that team. But if you think about the formula, I'm not saying that it's so much a quarterback controversy, but more of the play style, the play call. They ran the ball more than they actually passed it. I might be wrong. We got to check the stats.
No, it was balanced. It was actually kind of like similar to what you see right now with the Packers. They had 20 passing attempts and they had like 36 rushing attempts, and so it was like that with with Kellen Moore. So yeah, you. I see now what you're talking about. Yeah, I think we should, maybe bring Cooper Rush back, because then from there we're not gonna be airing it out 46 times in a opportunity to allow Tony Pollard to just freaking, have a day, and he had a day too, but have another day like he had the week before. Why did we not see Dallas get our tight ends involved more?
Almost,
Man,
Jerry, I'm almost going to get off my chair right now. I just want to walk around my room and just ponder that question. I don't
worked so well.
understand.
It worked so well last week,
I
man.
can't I don't know why. And that's a good question. Why did we not? Wh- I that's besides me. I'm almost speechless right now because I don't know why we didn't do that. Why did we not? With that Fergus shot, that whole Ferguson and Hendershot group, we play action. You run one deep run, crossing a rock, coming cross, whatever the case may be. Why didn't we use that more? I don't understand that, and that's my point. Why don't we use our strengths to our advantage? And I keep saying that about Kellen Moore, but he keeps trying to be so dynamic and keeping up with the, I guess I call it the Joneses, right? It's kind of a thing with the McVay and all them, but that's a good question. Why didn't we? I don't know. I can't answer that question, and we should have used the tight ends more, Jerry.
Man, it worked so well last week. I mean, not only did we get the Russian attack going at at the highest level we've seen in maybe quite some time, and then it set up the play action for them to get involved and then to allow them to make some plays. I think that this is something that we should be, this is I'm gonna pin this comment right here. Why did we not see more of the Titans get more involved?
Good
I
question.
I will say this. That's why I firmly believe that OBJ, we should try to pursue him heavily, because I think that the Cowboys are trying to do this whole, I briefly said this, but I'm gonna go ahead and recap it. But it's weird how the Cowboys are trying to implement this wide receiver by committee type deal, like what we've seen people do in the past with running back by committee, right? In other words, nobody ever knows who's going to be at the top of the line, at the full forefront. Who's going to be the main guy. So I think, if we're gonna get the tight ends involved, why don't we just go ahead and bring in OBJ, right? That would allow us to have different packages for the wide receivers to make the plays that they need to make, and be able to implement the tight end packages to get the running game going and get them involved, right? Because I think they all work hand in hand together. If we go after OBJ, Kellen Moore will want to pass more. You know what? You have a great point there too. But at least we know that with OBJ, he's gonna jump and he's gonna get that ball. He's gonna contest everything, and he won't have those little lapses in judgment, or he won't be able to, like that interception that Dak threw because CeeDee Lamb didn't sell the route. So that's why with OBJ, you'd probably would eliminate some of these mistakes that are made if we're passing, because obviously Kellen Moore is very hard headed.
Yeah, Jerry. I mean, if I guess that's a great question. I mean, we're talking about balancing, but at the same time, we want OBJ. So we want everything and the cake, right? At the same time. I think you said that before, Jerry. So I mean it's hard, right? What do we do? We want everything in the world and we want it all to work at one time, but unfortunately it can't. So I mean, we'll just have to see what strategy they have with OBJ and see how it works out. But at the end of the day, I think it'll open up the two deep safety in order for us to run the ball at the end of the day.
Are we not trying to establish a run and impose our will? Seems like
I
I
said
think you're right.
I said that right before. In order for us to win the game, we pound the ball. We let them know we're going to run the ball. Look them in the eye and say, "We're running the ball." You know, we're running the ball. What are
Yeah.
you going to do? Are you going to stop it? And we didn't do that.
Unfortunately, we cannot put in a petition to fire Kellen Moore because Mike McCarthy does not know the playbook at all. So we are stuck.
We are stuck. We're stuck with Kellen Moore. I mean, we heard, as you said, Jerry, Mike McCarthy say that he doesn't know the playbook, which is crazy to me. You know, he also obviously he does say things that, hey, I want to do this, want to do that, and then Kellen Moore implements the game plan. But as we said before, Kellen Moore wants to pass the ball. That's what he wants to do. The strength of this team is running the ball. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things. You have a relationship in life, and you cook the meal. The wife washes the dishes, and you're a team. And if you don't do that, then you have problems. I mean,
Well said, man. Well said. Anyone playing Madden can do better than Moore.
oh wow.
Man, you know what? I feel like playing some Madden. I haven't played Madden in quite some time, man. I feel like playing Madden and airing it out, going and winning my own Super Bowl as Dak and the Cowboys. Well, I'd probably trade away some players, but you know, uh now I'm kidding. I wouldn't trade players away. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, what we will do come tomorrow, we will start to break down, the actual, we'll break down the all the 3 and outs that the Cowboys had. The play calling that was called in sequence. We'll take a deeper dive into it. We'll be able to give you a better breakdown. Obviously, this is just a little. It's the overreaction type, situation that we have, losing to a team that was struggling to get a win.
Hey Jerry, we know how everybody feels. That's why we did it. We went on air. And what's the question?
Noel. Dallas has a hot Minnesota Vikings next week. I am
Oh
not
my
so
god.
optimistic we will win that one. Man, I know, man.
Why did you gotta bring that up?
Dude, the Bills are like, I mean, Josh Allen looked good, man. I mean, at the very end, well, oh man, that was a weird game because it was hard because we
So
were live and we were trying to watch that one. But when every
so
time the play was going on, I was seeing it. But damn,
it's right
man,
about that though, Jerry. Let's talk about we were supposed to win the Green Bay game. We didn't.
we
Now
did.
we're supposed to go into Minnesota and win.
And they have Justin Jefferson. And right now, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but his catch is going viral right now. I think they're saying that it's better than the Odell Beckham catch? I don't think so personally. It is a very impressive catch. I think the one that Odell caught on the Dallas Cowboys was by far one of the craziest catches I've ever
But
seen, or I think anybody's ever seen in football, right?
but
Because of the
but
extension.
but like I said before, Jerry, and I think we had this conversation offline, is that I keep telling you the games we're supposed to win, right? But for whatever reason, we play at the level that the other team is playing at and we lose games. We're not supposed to do that. This was a no question. We beat Aaron Rodgers and we're done and we go on to Minnesota. But for whatever reason, we play mediocre. We play at the level the other team is playing at. And at the end of the game, we find ways to lose games. And to have a coach like that, when the NFL stands for what? Not for long. And that's what's going to happen with Mike McCarthy. If he keeps up this strategy in the NFL, he's not going to be not for long. He's going to be gone.
And I'll tell you this, it's probably going to be very difficult for him to find a new head coaching job in the NFL after this. So, yeah, at the rate that we are at, guys, I will tell you this, it's going to be a very difficult road to the Super Bowl this year. If we are one and done in the playoffs, hey, we should be grateful that we made it to the playoffs because we went through we went through hell, right? We went through hell not seeing the playoffs in years and years. Let's hope the Minnesota game goes to prime time. Oh,
Well, that's so bad. That's talking bad about Kirk Cousins.
so what I was trying to say is like what I'm just saying because it's overreaction, so I get to overreact for a minute. It's like the stars are aligning almost for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think right before me and Harvey started talking, when we first launched the Cowboy Cast, we both kind of came to an agreement. We said it's the coaching, it's the coaches that we've had. They have not been able to get the team in the right direction because the Cowboys have done a phenomenal job each year drafting players, bringing in the right players. I mean, there's players that have gone on to have multiple Pro Bowls, all pro perennials, have even gone past and won Super Bowls with other teams. We've had the players, we've had the players. It's just the coaching's never been there. And the other thing was the boneheaded mistakes that the Dallas Cowboys always seem to find their way to it, right? We're talking about that today in today's game. But that's it for the overreaction. Like I said, I'm just getting you ready. The if we're one and done, I think the stars are lining up. I think Champagne to the Cowboys is going to be realistic. Also, I do feel that maybe OBJ would be a little bit more helpful because he could make some of those tougher catches that our receivers are having a hard time making. And the coaches that the Cowboys have had one thing in common. They've been hired by the GM. Yep, for a reason. But so Champagne is actually really good friends with the Joneses. So there's maybe he's fine. He's taking a different approach than every other coach that has coached the Cowboys since, right? So he's built up their trust, or he can actually take control of the team and be the actual main guy for the team. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. But like I said, be ready for those Sean Payton, overreactions to the Cowboys connections and people just being upset with the overall judgment calls that were made by our coaching staff in this game. But thank you all for tuning in. Remember, we got the cap giveaway. If you're new, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will be given away during the kickoff, the actual kickoff show for the Vikings on Sunday. So hold on, we got a last minute chime in. But will the Cowboys give up draft capital for Payne? Yes, I believe it'll be a third rounder because he's retired. So not too bad, because I think we will be able to get some draft pick compensation from prior players that we've lost that we didn't re-sign. So we'll be good. We'll be all right. Giving up a third won't be too bad either for a coach that will get us Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowls. First round for him. Not well. I believe it would be first round if he was an active coach. So right now, since he's retired, it'd be kind of similar what they did with the coach of the Buccaneers. They gave up a third round pick, so that's the going rate to
Correct.
get a unretired player. So that's
Yep.
the rate that they're going at. But thank you all so much. Hey, stay strong, man. We're Cowboys Nation, and be annoying. Be as annoying as possible to the rest of all the other football teams that are around you. Hold your head up high. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? That star is better looking than any emblem out there. Our games are way better than every single game you see on Sunday. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.